are for another Monday morning. Motivation, opening up the body, getting ourselves ready for the week ahead. So, keep getting bings coming up. So, let's see if I can put my phone on silent so we don't have any more of those bings and those interruptions. It's interesting actually, bings and interruptions, noises outside and all sorts of external things going on are actually quite beneficial to your Qigong practice because they're annoying. And part and parcel of the practice of Tai Chi and the practice of Qigong is to be able to experience the annoyance without following it or riding it or surfing it down the river or whatever it is you might do with it, chasing it up a tree or what have you, so that these things happen because you cannot actually control the external world in that extent, to that extent, in that way. Things are going to happen that annoy you, things are going to happen that trigger you. Those triggers, those annoyances are actually a gift because they show you where you are locked up, where you are holding yourself tight, tense and rigid, or where you have points of view about things that make you react. And part of the training is to develop a skillful mind. A skillful mind is the ability to recognize where you're acting in a subconscious way, not consciously choosing to how you deal with things. And then as soon as you recognize it, bring yourself back into your center and think to yourself, no, that's not how I want to react here. I'm going to choose something different. There are all kinds of philosophical debates that go around this now. The whole thing about the sort of action through non-action, and it's not about becoming a doormat lying down and just going, oh yeah, that's fine, that's not a problem. It's about giving you the opportunity to choose how you react. If you are just triggered and you react in an aggressive and angry way every time something annoying happens to you, then that's how you will always react, and you aren't in control of that. It's a preconditioned response. It's a learned habit. If you can choose to become annoyed and aggressive, but then drop yourself back out of that instantly, then you have choice. You can then react in things in a certain way, or you can look at it in a different way. You don't have to react aggressively. You could react passively, but still be in total control. Now that's a very interesting topic to get into, and I'm not quite sure why I started talking about that this morning, because that's not where I was intending to go at all. So the dragons are obviously speaking to me this morning and saying, yeah, say that, that'll be good. So our Qigong practice this morning. Part of the skillful mind, I suppose that's part of what I was getting at, is that it's developing this quality, this skillful mind quality. And part of being skillful in the mind is the ability to recognize tension in the body, ability to recognize conditions in the body that are not serving you. If you don't recognize where you're holding yourself tight, tense and rigid, if you don't recognize where you're being triggered, if you don't recognize where you are reacting in a way that's not helping you, then you can't change it, because you aren't even aware of it. You're not even acknowledging it. So the skillful mind is becoming more aware. The first part and the first element of that is to first of all become more deeply aware of what's going on inside the body, more deeply aware of your body and how it's feeling, how it's reacting to things. Where are you holding yourself tight, tense and rigid? For instance, I've woken up this morning and I have quite a lot of tightness in my upper spine. So I'm aware of that. I haven't done anything about it yet because I'm going to use this Qigong practice in order to help free that up. But so I've noticed that I'm tight in the spine, and I now know that I need to sort of loosen that all off. It's not just in the spine, it's actually in the core in here. So there's a tightness that's sort of like built up over the course of the night, or it's probably more, it's something that's been there deeply in the core of my being for a very long time, and I'm now aware of it. And I've woken up this morning and my body's going, hey, look at this. I was like, oh, okay, I need to look at that. So the tightness in the spine is also affecting into the shoulders, down into the arms. It also affects down into the hips and into the legs. But that's the place where it's manifesting at the moment. So when you've recognized that, it's a matter of releasing. So this is where Gung comes in, the ability to release. So the skill of release is finding where you're tense and being able to let it go. Then the quality of Gung is where you get your body so it's less tense, less tight, and it moves more fluidly. Yeah. So I don't think you ever get yourself to a point where you are totally sung all the time, because sung has different levels and you build on it. And you get more and more sung, and you get more and more skillful at becoming and letting go and finding the areas of tension in your body the more you practice. So it's not something that is going to, it doesn't happen instantly overnight. You don't just suddenly become sung. You develop the skill and the quality as you practice, and it gets deeper into the body as you go. So if you find yourself tight, tense and rigid, or you find something and you think, oh God, I've been doing my Qigong for a year now, I shouldn't be feeling this. It's like, no, your body's just revealed something new to you. So actually that tension is a gift. It's not something to fight or argue with. Right, this is a conversation that could go on for a very long time. So I'm going to stop now and we're going to do the Qigong. So find your shoulder width. If you need to do that, you can put your feet together, turn out your toes, turn out your heels. Make sure your feet are parallel, they're pointing straight in front of you. They're not drifting out to the corners, because we need our legs to find an alignment that allows the joints to work together. Okay, they're not stacked. You're not trying to line everything up so everything's sat on top of one another, and then, because that in itself puts in tight, that makes you rigid, tight and tense. They're allowed to work together. So the feet parallel is the first part of that, then feeling the ground beneath the feet. Let the feet just spread out onto the ground. And just take a moment just to allow that to happen. And then see, as you start to sort of become aware of the soles of your feet and they spread out, you suddenly notice silly little things going on, like you're pushing up and you don't even realise you were doing it. You're actually pushing yourself up off the ground. You might not find that, but that's fine. But that's generally what tends to happen. So that's part of what they say about sinking. It's softening the feet and allowing yourself to sink onto the ground. So you receive the upward force of the ground. The upward force, I suppose if you're talking from a physics point of view, that's what you're doing. You're matching the force coming up by sinking down and just releasing and relaxing as you do. Then opening up the ankles. So again, the ankles and the feet now start to work together. They're connected. They're not one unit, but they are connected. And then the knees, you open the knees. And again, as you come up through the legs, you notice the tension in the calf muscles and release it. If you train with the tension, like, you build that into your body. So it's really quite important now to start looking for these places where you are holding yourself tight, tense, rigid, and get them to release and relax. And actually, standing posture, this first Wu Chi posture, is probably one of the most important things you'll ever learn. Learning to stand, learning to let the muscles go. Into the knee joints, let the knee joint relax and release. Up into the thigh muscles, let them relax and release. So you're opening the internal spaces, feeling the soft tissue, and allowing the muscle to expand out so it can fill with Qi and build from the inside out. That's why it's an internal art. Hip joints, releasing the hip so it's not bullying down through the knee. Softening the abdomen, softening the lower back, let the tailbone drop as though you're sitting on a stool. Shoulders resting comfortably over the hips, but they're slightly rounded forward, so you're hollowing out the chest very gently. So the chest can relax, it's not pulled back, you're not holding it tight, you're just allowing it just to sort of rest and sink in so that the chi can sink down into the belly. Then the head, we're going to bring our chin in as though you're holding a ball, a paper ball between your chin and your throat. So it's just enough to hold the ball in place but not crushing it. Okay, that opens up the neck, pulls up where the skull, the occiput I think it's called, where the skull joins the spine, and then raises the head up. So you suspend the body. The skeleton is suspended, the muscles are released, relaxed, and sink. Okay, so we're just breathing into the belly, softening the mind. And we begin the first posture. So you're breathing in, it's not just bringing your hands up over your head and waving your hands about. There's a motion that goes through the body with this. So as you breathe in, you come up and you're stretching up through the spine into the shoulders and up over the head. And then breathing out, the hands circle down, and then you're allowing the muscles now just to contract. They contract, they relax and sink back down through the body as the hands come down. So you're breathing in, expanding up, stretching up, and breathing out, circling the hands down, but also allowing the muscles to sort of like contract in, the joints to close and come back down into the body. So breathing in, opening up. So you get like this wave effect going through the body. Now that takes practice and time to develop the sense of that and start to understand how that works. But just know, if you're a beginner to this, it's not just waving your arms around. You're trying to connect the body up. And now your mind has gone into overdrive, trying to work all of that out. You need to soften the mind. And then start to breathe into the body so that you don't put tension into the body. You're trying to release tension from the body. So the breath down into the belly, opening and closing as you move, is quite important. Don't forget to breathe. And now I've used the word important. That can make you tight in the chest because you're now trying to make yourself breathe, but don't. Just allow yourself to breathe. Let the mind settle and sink into the body as deep as it can. Let the breath just expand the body and contract the body as you're breathing in and out. And just let it become a nice, natural, easy way of breathing. Don't try and force anything. Okay, we're going to change. So breathing in, bring the hands up to the chest. Breathing out, let the hands float down and come to rest on the feet. So feel the ground beneath the feet, drop the tailbone, tuck the chin. Breathing into the belly, softening the mind. Clearing the mind, let the mind sink into the body. Breathing in, bring the hands up to the chest. Again, expanding up. Breathe out, turn the palms. Left hand goes up, right hand down. Breathe in, hands come back to the chest. Breathe out, sinking down. Swap the hands, so right hand up, left hand down. Breathing in and breathing out. So again, you're looking for that stretch, that elongation through the body, but it's different now because you're coming up to the chest, expanding up, but the hands are coming to the chest. And then as you breathe out and sink down, the arms are stretching out, the legs are bending down. So you create a different stretch through the body, through the changing of the motion. And again, just releasing any tension you find, let the shoulders go. Change, so the hands come back to the chest, and then on the out breath, turn the palms and just let them both come to rest by the sides. And again, feel the ground beneath the feet. Let the tailbone drop as though you're sitting on a stool, and tuck the chin to suspend the head. So you're sitting back against your spine, into the pelvis, and just feel the spine, the x-axis if you like. And then just start to turn the waist and let the arms just swing round. So we're really looking for a fluid motion through the body, releasing the spine and the shoulders. Okay, so we're just going to focus on spine and shoulders at the moment. So let the spine turn. Let the muscles either side of the spine release. So it's like a clenched fist, and then you let it go. That's that quality of release, that. And just feel how the muscles either side of the spine start to move as the arms swing, the shoulder blades release and relax, and you want them to sort of like become fluid, more flexible. So you're releasing any tension that you have, and eventually over time you can get quite laser focused, if you like. What I mean by that is not intense concentration. It's narrowing the bandwidth, if you like, so that you can start to feel each vertebrae as opposed to the spine as one thing, or as opposed to all the muscles as one thing. So you can narrow it down and start to focus on individual vertebrae, the cartilage in between the discs, and start to be aware of where they're tight and tense and rigid. So at the moment, just between my shoulder blades, I've got a little bit of tension there that's sort of twinging every time I'm moving. So I'm just allowing my mind to rest there, not forcing it to rest there and focusing on it intently. I'm just allowing my mind to rest there, and I'm asking it to release, relax, let go. If you try and force it, all you will do is build more tension into your body, and that doesn't help you. And now that's starting to release, relax and dissipate, I can actually become more aware of the chest cavity itself, just in front of where that vertebrae is, and see if there's anything there that I'm using to hold tension. And allow myself just to move. Let the muscles either side of the spine become more fluid. Now it's interesting because tension and pain, they're distractions, and it's very difficult, especially for beginners, to start to get your mind to rest in these areas, because they're you want to run away from it. You don't actually want to pay attention to it. Unfortunately, part of what the pain is about is asking you to become aware and pay attention to something. So it's a matter of resting the mind there and just allowing yourself to release, relax, and see if you can dissipate it. And not judge yourself if you can't, because you may not be ready to let it go, or you might not have found the key yet. Now that's fine. You just keep playing with this. Keep playing with it. Keep allowing things to release and relax. And then you notice that the vertebrae that I thought was tense is just the tip of the iceberg, and now I'm working my way down my spine into the pelvis, slowly letting all the vertebrae go as I bring my mind down through the body. And I'm going to change the momentum so that the arms are going out to the sides, and again, you're not just swinging your arms about. There is a stretch that goes through the body, and it comes from the feet, and it comes through the waist. It's through into the shoulders and issued into the arms. So if all you're doing is just swinging your arms about, you might get a little bit of a workout, but you don't get the internal. And again, that takes time to get to the level of awareness where you can start to appreciate that. So you need to be aware of what it is you're trying to do, you're allowing yourself to do. But not judge yourself if you're not feeling it yet, because it takes time. Mainly because we're not trying to do this from children. We're trying to work the other way. And you do actually need to do the external stuff, especially for kids. They need the external calisthenics because you need it to build muscle. You need it to build strong joints. So getting out, for kids, getting them out and getting them exercising is absolutely key to building strong, healthy people in the future. Okay, we're going to change, just allow the arms to come to rest, sinking down through the feet. Feel the ground beneath the feet, drop the tailbone, tuck the chin. As we breathe in, the hands come forward. And again, it's not just the hands coming up and down. You're breathing in and expanding and stretching up through the body. And then as you breathe out, the elbows drop, the wrists drop, and you sink down into the thighs. And breathing in, come up. And breathe out, sinking down. So you start to get this feeling of the stretch through the body. And again, that takes time because you have to build the awareness. You have to build the connection. And that, again, it takes time, especially if you don't know what you're looking for. What will happen is you do the exercises sincerely, as you're instructed to do them. So you're rising as you breathe in, the hands come up. And then as you do them, you become aware of a deeper level behind the movement. And when you think you've got that, you become aware of another deeper level behind the movement. And you just keep building on it. Unfortunately with this, it's not like reading a book. You can't skip to the end. Because it's actually a novel that you're writing yourself. So each page is written depending on how much practice you are willing to put in. I say, I mean, there's lots of discussion about how much you should practice. Oh, you should do 8 hours a day, you should do this, you should do that. But what you should actually do is be guided by what you're able to do at the moment. If you can get yourself just to do this Gung set every morning to start with, and you build from there. And let's face it, we all have lives to live. And they all have external demands. So doing this practice in the morning is to help reset you and to help get you more grounded, more chilled out, more aware of your centre of being, so that you are more able to deal with the external. Because the external is there, it's real, and you can't necessarily change it. What you can change is how you deal with it. By becoming more skillful. And then we're going to change. Fingertips to the right, let the hands circle up. Right hand in front of the face, left hand sinks down. Turning the waist. Turn the palms, swap the hands, return to the centre. Turn the waist, turn the palms, swap the hands, and keep going. So you're trying to rotate around the spine, sitting back against the spine into the pelvis as you move. And then feel the momentum through the body. Try and get it smooth, operating around the centre. And most importantly, don't forget to breathe. Let your breathing fall into a pattern that works for you for now. Eventually you can start to link the breath to the movement, but for now, it's all about releasing. I was going to say relaxing then. Relaxing, yeah, but you're not lying down and going to sleep. So it's releasing. Change, bring the lower hand up, both hands come up to the chest, breathe in. Breathe out, let the hands come to rest by the sides. Close the hands over the belly. Left hand under right for men, right hand under left for ladies. Feel the ground beneath the feet, let the tailbone drop, tuck the chin. Change, bring the hands up, wiggle the fingers at the ends of the arms. Bring the hands down, circle the hands. Change, breathe in, come up onto the toes, take the hands up, stretching up over the head. And breathe out, let yourself drop. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out. Keep going. And we are done. So thank you so very much for joining me again this morning. I hope that's just helped to set you up ready for your Monday and ready for your week ahead. If you have any comments or would like to leave questions or feedback, then please do so in the comments section below. Love to hear what people think of this, love to hear what they have to say and what your comments and theories are, And if you agree with any of the stuff that I say or disagree, it's all fine, not a problem at all. Please just record whatever it is down in the comments below. If you want to find out more about Three Dragons, you can head across to our website, and I'll put the link below. There we have a shop where you can get t-shirts and other paraphernalia with the logo on. And then we also have our Facebook page. There's a shop on the Facebook page which does the same thing. If you'd like to just support us on Patreon and go across and get access to more Qigong videos and Tai Chi videos, then please, by all means, that's a great thing to do as well. It all helps to support the school and keeps me being able to do the things that I love to do. And hopefully I'm a contribution to the world by posting these videos out for people to play with. All that's left to say is, I hope you have a really great day, and I'll see you in the next one.